Good morning guys, welcome to Lost Phoenix Gaming. I'm back on Forza Motorsport 7, having a look at the Forzathon challenges for the third week of February. So let's have a look, let's get into it and let's see what we've got. First off, we have Hot Lapping Fan, throwing down the lap times which I need to beat a rival. That's for 30,000 credits. And then we've got In the Middle of the Night, Practicing Blind. First part of it is complete 5 laps at Circuit of the Americas at night time. And that's for the 2011 Mercedes-Benz Black Falcon SLS AMG GT3. The second part being complete 4 laps at Virginia International Raceway at night. Then we've got Looking Super Fast, Keep It Super Fast. For the White Ninja driver gear, I've got to complete a race at Prague Short Circuit in an S-Class car and 3 laps at Indy, and there's different things on that one, but so have a quick look at the rivals and let's pick something decent. I've got a February Spotlight Challenge Ferrari, might go for that one, which is pretty decent, in the Ferrari Lusso, which is actually a really nice car. It's February car of the month, this one. I had a little race in it last week and it's actually really nice, really nice. I'm going to do a survival event around Sebring International Raceway, the full circuit. So it should be pretty decent. So rolling up to the line in my Ferrari, looking really cool, really cool. So I was driving this last week and it's actually a really nice car. Quick internal view, and I'm off. There you go, there's my opponent, absolutely flying it ahead, absolutely flying it. Racing the Lusso, which is absolutely brilliant, February car of the month. It's an amazing car, lovely car from Ferrari, replaces the Ferrari FF, and so I drove this last week, it's absolutely lovely on Forza, it's absolutely brilliant. And around the Sebring International Raceway, which is got a bit of history to it itself. It's the oldest continuously used racetrack within the United States, and it's been open since the 1950s. There's different events every year, like the 12 hours of Sebring and things like this, the sports cars. This is actually a bit of a Forza favourite track. I think this has been in every Forza game, every Forza Motorsport game, pretty much ever. So it's actually pretty much a staple. It's considered one of the premier tracks in the States, and it's actually quite nice to drive around as well, which is like really nice. It's not a track I do overly though, but just handling it really well, taking my corners really nicely. I've got 18 minutes 29 seconds to beat on this one, which obviously this is a noob time. You saw at the beginning my opponent spun off the track, and I'm assuming they are still actually rear. But this is going to be pretty much an easy win on this, so I'll get this first challenge out of the way, get the credits, and I can move on to the other stuff. Bit of hot lapping. What would be quite cool if you have a hot lap event and it's like around Nürburgring or something, do something cool like that. And that noise, by the way, was my car unlocking. Don't ask. Yes, as you can see, the dot on the map, my opponent is still stuck on that first corner. Never mind. I'm pushing this round. I'm probably going to hit this in about 2.5 minutes, and it's taking them 18.5 minutes. Definitely, this is the new one. This is definitely the one they always set up as a first opponent to give everyone a chance to actually win a rivals. It's after this it gets a bit more realistic, but I'm not going to bother with that because I just want to get through this video. I want to show you guys this stuff. So there you go, I've beaten them by some mile, 2.5 minutes, 2 minutes 29 seconds. This is not bad. I've shaved about 16 minutes off their lap time. Fantastic. So I'm going to quit out of this. I'm going to go back into Forzathon, and I'm going to have a look and see what I've got. But my first pop-ups here, you've made progress in Hot Lapping Fan, and of course I've completed Hot Lapping Fan because it's a one-step challenge. So let's have a look. Let's pick my credits up. Not that 30,000 credits go far these days with me. Mods and crap I buy out of the store. So I've got In the Middle of the Night, Complete 5 laps of Circuit of the Americas. 5 laps of Circuit of the Americas at night. So that's absolutely brilliant. So let's get into this. Let's have a look. And it's night time. And I've said before about these tracks. There's a lot of these tracks, but night time you cannot see jack. You cannot see anything. And this is one of them. I'm actually driving a Lamborghini Venaro. Or Venero, whatever it's called. I'm actually driving a Lamborghini Veneno. And all you can see is those iconic lights, those snake tongue type lights on the back. Which is quite funny considering the word Veneno actually means venom. And it's actually named after a 1914 bull who was quite famous for killing matadors. So it's a bit of a tradition of Lamborghini on that one. But now I'm around the Circuit of the America, which is home of the F1 Grand Prix in the States, which is brilliant. It's quite a new track though. It's 2010 I think it opened, but this circuit didn't take long, 49 seconds, that's got round it. Can't see jack, but never mind. 49 seconds, absolutely brilliant. Per lap for the best lap, but of course it was a 5-lap race, so I did actually end up editing it down for you guys. Do I like this tune? Yes I do, because this has got quite a respectable tune on it. I was messing around last year with a mod for it to try and get it over 500 mile an hour and everything, and I did manage to do it, but I didn't end up making a video on it. So the next step of this challenge is to complete a race at Virginia International Raceway at night. I've got the Porsche 918 here, which is a nice Porsche. I'm not overly fond of Porsches, truthfully, but this is a nice one. The 918 is quite nice. It's 4.5 litre V8, and it's pretty damn quick, actually. I think for a few years it's actually held the record for a production car, something like around the Nürburgring. It's about 7 seconds or just under. So that's actually a pretty decent car. My opponent's a bit far behind me here, but holding her own. Virginia Raceway, another classic American circuit. It's used mostly for NASCAR testing, but it does have other things going on there. It's opened in 57 if I remember correctly, but it's actually quite a new track. It's standard in Forza 7 here, but if you wanted it in Forza Motorsport 6, you need to buy that Porsche pack, which I never bothered doing. But it's quite a nice track, 1:08. Not doing too badly on that one, to be fair. I'm actually flying through these challenges today. So 4 minutes 43 in total, 4 laps against the Koenigsegg Regera. I'm going to learn how to pronounce this one day. So that does give me a pop-up. So my progress in the middle of the night, and being a 2-step, I've completed in the middle of the night. And I think this gives me the Merc, if I remember correctly. So I'll have to head over to the Forzathon screen, have a look, and pick it up. And here you go, the 2011 Mercedes-Benz number 35 Black Falcon SLS AMG GT3, worth 720 collector's points, and it's super rare vintage for those who care about that stuff. So I've got one of these, and these are nice. So now I've got 2 of them. I think it gets to the point in Forza where you just start getting duplicates of everything. Next up, I've got looking super fast. Complete a race at Prague Short Circuit in an S-Class car. Man, I've got a couple hours with Jaguar, and I've got some stuff with Indianapolis Motor Speedway. So let's have a look at the S-Class car around the Prague circuit. I've decided for this one to go for the McLaren F1. The McLaren F1 is an iconic car. It's British made, built in Surrey. It's a 6-litre monster. It's actually got a BMW engine in, of all things. It's about, 100 or so ever made, which is absolutely mad. It makes them one of the rarest modern supercars. And going around Prague, I love Prague. This is a really nice circuit, really, really nice. I just like the buildings and the details and everything. It's just like better than just like bland raceways in a way. It's just like, it is nice because Prague is a beautiful, beautiful place. And yeah, the F1. It's actually, I think, was it in 1998 or something like this? It was actually a record holder of the world's fastest production car. But I think Connie Seg beat it in the early 2000s, and then that was beaten by Bugatti with a Veyron. And these are iconic. In fact, it's so iconic. Elon Musk actually owned one of these long before he ever thought of the idea of making Teslas. So I'm across the line, 1 minute 14. Not doing too badly. Definitely flying through these challenges today. This is the first car I think I got on Forza. I think it was on Forza 7 when they give you a free car. I think it was a McLaren F1 is what I picked. I'm up against the Lamborghini Huracan, which is brilliant. Only about a second behind me, which is pretty respectable. So, Elroy Sarg, that's my opponent this week, by the look of it. They're not bad. Normally, even though I'm doing my stuff in unbeatable mode, they do tend to give me noobs. They tend to be people I can just sort of race ahead of and not really get too much challenge off. But this guy, or girl, whoever you are, Elroy Sag, is actually pretty decent, which makes me ask that question about the driver task. How accurate are we to yourself? Next up, win a race at Watkins Glen in a Jaguar manufactured car. So here I am, I'm on Watkins Glen in a Jag E-Type. The Union Jack design, as you do. This is the Coupe edition. For those of you remember Austin Powers films from, well, it's 1997, I think was the first one, 99 was the second one, I can't remember what the third one was, but it's 97, the film came out, and the iconic car, what he called this Jaguar, was the E-Class Roadster, which is the open top version. Really, really nice car. And these are these iconic 60s cars. And they are really sort of cool. This has had like a 1,000 horsepower tune on it, so it's crazy. That's why I'm up against a hypercar, whatever I am here. But these are really nice cars, and they are really nice, but they're just not that reliable. It's a Jaguar's got a bad reputation for not being reliable, particularly old ones. But I'm going to fly around Watkins Glen, which is the old F1 GP circuit for the US Grand Prix. And there you go, you caught up with me, Elroy Sarg, and coming up to a bit of a sharp corner. Yeah, so the Watkins Glen's built in the 50s again. And funnily enough, so when I read this, it used to use the public roads prior to a formal circuit being created. So you'd actually be racing around the private roads, which is absolutely loony. But 1 minute 35 cross the line in the Jag, looking cool. But it's not mad about Jag how small that does look. I think it's Aston Martin was I'm up against. Yeah, the Aston Martin Vantage. So I've got this A-Class. Yeah, I know I've got this A-Class Jag against an S-Class Aston Martin. But yeah, definitely altered so, particularly some modding things. I've made progress in looking super fast, and can move on. You may notice I have got a crazy spaceman driver gear, but 3 laps at Indianapolis Motor Speedway Grand Prix Circuit Classic. I can pick what I want on this one. In all fairness, I can pick what I want, but I've decided to let's keep it British again. I've had the Jag on this one. Let's keep it British, and I've got the Aston Martin Vulcan, which is an awesome car. It's a absolutely lovely car. It's one of the craziest track toys you can have. Up against Elroy Sarg in a for Koenigsegg Regera again, something like that. And that's quick. That is a serious quick car. The Aston Martin 7-litre V12, bit of a monster, and not road legal in the slightest, bit like the XXK, where you can only use it on, you buy the car and can use it on track days, but the difference is you can actually keep this at your house, whereas the other ones you can't. But this guy is really giving me a challenge on this one. He's like quite far ahead of me. He's pushed past, little nudge here, a bit of dirty racing for myself, but he's get ahead of him. So what I'll do is I'll keep this running. It's 3 laps, but I'll keep it running until I get ahead of him. The Indy GP circuit, it does a lot of different races. It's done NASCAR, his F1's been done around here, and this is probably one of the oldest circuits in Forza, because I think it's 1909 I think this opened, and it is just, it's actually my go-to circuit for a lot of stuff. Not so much for GP side, more of a brickyard. If you want to do a quick lap and stuff like this, you can do it. Most cars can do it under a minute. You can absolutely fly it, and it is an iconic circuit, because this circuit is, like 110 years old. Yeah, it's 110 years old and used for most of that time. I'm definitely having a bit of a struggle with this guy, because the thing about the Regera is it's a plug-in hybrid, 5-litre twin turbo engine, but it's actually got the hybrid, which means its acceleration is seriously quick. And I think it was inspired by some of the Teslas, because I think I remember reading a few years ago that the guys who created this were inspired by how fast the power came out of the Teslas, what the torque was. They were impressed by it, so they said, we want to build an electric hypercar, and they did. And this is it. So this is why, as excellent as the Aston Martin Vulcan is, it just cannot match it on the acceleration. It's absolutely, just goes off like a rocket. And the word Regera means terrain, I think. So it's basically designed to be sort of like king of cars, king of a track. And it comes to the point where I have to do stuff like that just to try and get ahead. I have to run them off into a tyre wall, which is, I am a bit of a dirty racer when I need to be, but it's mad. I'm determined to come first, but this is actually mad. It's taken me 2 laps to actually pull that back, pretty much. Almost 2 laps to pull that back. So I'm going to make a quick cut here, because you don't want to see a third lap. 1 minute 29 seconds is the quickest. And I did manage to stay in first place on that one, because the Koenigsegg, as much as they did manage to keep up with me, just couldn't pass me. So we're about 5 seconds behind ultimately, and that is mainly because I ran them off the track, which, I'm that sort of person. It's one of those, it's late at night and I'm not bothering to re-record. So I've made progress in looking super fast. And I've completed looking super fast, and I love that colour on the Vulcan. It just looks brilliant. I've got the classic spaceman, the astronaut driver gear rocking as well. Looks like a Cyberman from the early Doctor Who series. So with that, I can have a look into my Forzathon screen and collect my white Ninja driver gear. Stand out, let your rivals know you're approaching. Which means nothing to me, because I've already got it. I think I've got the red one, I think I've got the white one, I've got the black one. Because what it was, a few months ago I went a bit mental and bought a load, about 2 million credits, literally a load, 2 million credits of driver gear in crates, and I got most of them out of that, and the rest of them I've sort of picked up as I went. So looking at next week's, we've got something in red, always flashy, and that's for the 87 Ferrari F40, iconic outrun car, brilliant. And then there's a storm brewing, keeping it clear. That's for 60,000 credits. Amend Like a Rockstar, showing off. That's for the Rebel Red driver gear, which I'm not sure I have actually got. I don't think I have, but I will have to have a check later on that one. So that's it for today, guys. That's your 1-step challenge, your 2-step and your 3-step done. These are your next week's ones, which I'll be doing. Hopefully they'll look a little bit better because my Xbox One blew up, hence why I'm a bit late uploading this stuff today. I did record it on my original Xbox One, but a lot of issues trying to get that sorted out and everything. I just didn't get around to doing my videos. That's why I'm about a day late on this stuff. And I ended up buying an Xbox X. Although I haven't got a 4K telly yet, so I can't be recording at 4K. But it should hopefully solve some of the jitteriness I get on my game. But that's that, guys. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. Enjoyed watching it, and if you like what I'm doing, hit that like button. If you've got anything to say, leave me a comment. I've got a few ideas what I want to do on Forza in the next few weeks, but it's a case of sitting down, getting this X set up and just doing some stuff. And if you like what I'm doing, hit that like button, leave me a comment, hit subscribe, and until next time, guys, thanks for watching, take it easy and happy driving.